Welcome everybody to Quick Fix Fridays. My name is Tanya Oliver. I'm going to be your coach for today. And today is all about identifying triggered emotions. Now, this is a series, 1 out of 10, to build mental strength and reclaim control over your personal power. There's a lot of things that can end up getting in the way and block us from really becoming our best self. And one of the ways that we can overcome that is really identifying what triggers us. Because typically, when we are in a negative state of energy and negative state of emotion, we are powerless because of the way that we react to things. So, the next session, not today, but the next series, we're going to be talking about creating a toolbox. Today, right now, is also identifying when you're yellow lighting. Yellow lighting is just when you're feeling maybe more distracted than normal. You're feeling a little bit all over the place. You're feeling scatterbrained. You're feeling heavy. Your energy is like dragged out. You're not executing on tasks as quickly as you normally are. You just feel like you need a reset. The good thing is actually in the link right here, we have the 5-day habit starter, which is just like a get you up, get you going, hit the reset button, really powerful. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to just identify triggered emotions. And this is always workshop style. So at any point in time, take notes, pause this. You can always rewatch them. We have made them free and you can watch the replays complimentary on your own time. The biggest thing is really becoming aware of situations and emotions where you feel like you've just really lost control over your decision-making skills. And one thing is when you take a moment and you give yourself permission to take a time out, because a lot of the work of transformation and true change is, number one, about self-honesty, and number two, about self-awareness. You can't be aware of something that you're not honest about. So what we're doing is it's almost like you're taking like an Oreo cookie, okay? So you don't even eat an Oreo or those Oreo commercials, and they would have like kids in the commercial, and the kids would take the Oreo and they would go like this, and then they'd open it and you'd see which side had the cream filling on it. That's like the same concept of separating our emotion from our reaction. So they're not so caught up in the middle, they're not so intertwined with each other. So we're able to identify something, we become self-aware, and we can anticipate being reactive to something so that we're not making any decisions in the moment, we're not making any, we're not speaking when we're in a negative state of emotion or when we're feeling triggered, and we're just not like gonna go there, because the best thing you can do is just give yourself a timeout so you're not reactive. So we want to become aware of the situation, the emotions where we feel lost, lack of control, and then just really be able to just take a moment and write out 2 of your triggered emotions that lead to undesired behavior or how you react or respond to something. So I'm going to use myself as an example. One of the things is when I'm overly exhausted and I'm overly exhausted, like maybe I've been lacking sleep, and I'm pressured with time. So feeling pressured with time, whether it being a deadline that I put on myself or something that I have to show up for that I don't feel prepared for, on top of being overly exhausted. Those 2 emotions combined are a big trigger for me. And a lot of times the undestructive behavior, well, that used to be, would be emotional eating or binge eating or drinking or doing something destructive. Or skipping my workout. You know, sometimes it's not as extreme as we think, but the little things that we can do really create a separation and a division of us really being on our own winning team and supporting ourselves. Because when you're not supported first and foremost with yourself, and you are being pulled in 4 different directions with your mind and your body and your intellect or your emotions and your spirit, there's just too much division within yourself, and you're gonna probably be a not very good person to be around. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur. You're gonna have to really course correct and spend a lot of time fixing whatever complicated thing you just created. So it's important to identify your triggered emotions so that you know when you're in them you are more likely to anticipate engaging in a behavior that's going to create harm upon yourself and possibly harm upon another person. And sometimes it's just coming home, if you have children, and taking out your frustrations on your children. It can even be a space of discouragement and exhaustion. Boom, those two combined are your triggers. Typically what we found is it's two emotional states that are combined together that can create a not so great experience, right? So right now also, and that's just identifying when you're in, we call it yellow lighting. You're yellow lighting yourself. The best thing you want to do is really pour more into yourself and take time to do some more extra self-care. And it's okay. You can handle the load. You can handle the amount of responsibility that you're putting on yourself. It's just sometimes you're going to be going at that responsibility at a different pace in life, and that's okay as long as you keep going and you're taking care of yourself along the way. And you'll always be having optimal mental strength and always being in a space of claiming your personal power. So welcome if you're just joining. We are talking about triggered emotions, and please feel free in the chat box to type out maybe one or two of your triggered emotions when you feel that you're just going to possibly be destructive towards yourself or destructive towards other people. All right, so an example that I just gave was that when the two triggered emotions that I've noticed that I am no good for anybody, including myself, is over-exhaustion and feeling overly pressured. And typically it's the pressure I put on myself. A lot of times when we're a high-end achiever or trying a big visionary, you're trying to accomplish so many things, you could tend to put a lot of pressure on yourself because at the end of the day, you're the one setting your goals. You're the one with the vision. You're the one with the dreams and the aspirations. So go ahead and put in the chat box what that is. And also, like I said, when we have these quick fix Fridays, it's also an opportunity to get some free coaching. And one thing that we're going to do when you're live is we're going to enter you into the raffle. So those of you that come on live and those of you that are watching the replay is always going to be here. But those of you that are watching live, you're going to have the opportunity to be entered into a raffle. But you got to be here every Friday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern into a raffle to get a 21-day habit building bundle. And this is valued at almost $500. So we put you in a raffle and you can win the raffle at the end of the month. So that's really exciting. All right, so let me see if somebody wants to come on. Let's see. So this week we're going to talk about identifying triggered emotions, and then next week we're going to be talking about creating a toolbox for triggered emotions, or if you're just feeling like you're in a yellow light. Yellow light is when you're feeling just maybe like way down, you're feeling really tired, you're feeling just not yourself. So this is workshop style. These are just kind of like quick fixes. So if you want to just have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. And let's see. And then we'll just go from there because I'm here for you guys. So it's really just what you need and what you want today. Every Friday. That's really all we had for today. So if you don't have any questions, then that was a really quick fix. The biggest thing, as we talked about, is there's also 3 important segments of changing your transformation. Number 1 is being self-aware, but you can't be aware if you're not honest. So if you're not aware of what triggers you and what sets you off, then typically I described a little bit earlier about it's almost like an Oreo cookie where we get so caught up and hypersensitive with our reactions and our emotions that typically we become powerless in that negative state of emotion and energy. And the last thing you want to do is make decisions when you're in that negative space, when you are taking any action, and speaking, because we tend to, everybody, no matter how much training we have, can tend to probably spit some darts at people, and words can really cut somebody. So when you're in a negative space of emotion or you're feeling triggered, you just want to like pull back, take a moment, take a time out, and when identify these are your triggered emotions that are very dangerous when you're in this space. And typically it's about two of them combined. One, you might still have self-control, but the two combined will really make you feel like you're almost powerless. And then you always go back and you're like, oh, why did I do that? Shouldn't have done that. But all right, you guys, that's it for Quick Fix Friday. Really just identifying trigger emotions, why it's important to know about them, and how by knowing about them, it will help you build mental strength and reclaim control of your personal power. All right, you guys, till next Friday, I'll see you very soon. Quick Fix Fridays.